In this live stream, I'm going to show you 15 ways that you're a bad graphic designer. Let's get started. If we're just meeting, my name is Bradley, the CEO, owner, and head designer here at BDesign, and we specialize in brand development, which is everything from business cards, brochures, flyers, posters, the social media posts, to websites. Whatever you need, t-shirts, whatever it is, just use our link down in the description to get a hold of us, and we can help you, whichever branding issue it is. If you can dream it, we're here to help you design it. So let's dive right into this lesson. So, 15 signs that you're a bad graphic designer, along with some tips and tricks on how to improve your skills to fix these issues. Let's move on. The controversial topic. Yes, this is a controversial topic. However, I hope to raise awareness of some mistakes you may be making in your graphic design pieces that are making you look like an amateur. But please keep in mind that none of these are hard and fast rules. This is only a general guide of things you should be aware of. Please forgive me the graphic and bad grammar, spelling, later in the video, and know that they were intentional. Anyway, I have compiled 15 telltale signs that you may still be considered, don't quote me, bad graphic designer. Some of these have been taken from Robin Williams' great book, The Non-Designers Type Book, that I recommend in the top 5 typography resources of all times, which I will link to. I'll link to that down in the description as well, if you want to go get a copy of that book. So, the first telltale sign that you are a bad designer. The use of the font Helvetica. Let's just say that this font has been overused and overdone. I mean, heck, they even made a whole documentary series about this font and how it was created. Do you ever get sick of seeing Helvetica everywhere? Which it is everywhere, from logos to websites to bus timetables to the back of your cereal box. Arg. Do you use Helvetica in everything? Okay, yes, I know. It is the most popular font of all time, but that is the downfall of Helvetica. Just because it is there, it doesn't mean you have to use it. Try something else next time and try to break out of the habit. Just for some suggestions, maybe trade Gothic, Formata, Futura, antique olive, or maybe even Euro Sotil. And yes, I know that Helvetica is used a lot, but it doesn't hurt to try and be different. So the second way that you may be considered a bad graphic designer is straight quotes and wrong quotes. Do you use straight quotes still? Straight quotes were for typewriters. Times have changed. Look at the difference between the quotes above, or below, I mean. One, the quotes are not hanging over the edge. Okay? Number two, straight quotes have been used instead of true quotation marks. Then three, quotation marks have been used instead of a prime marker after the 7 and 3. And number 4, an apostrophe has been left out in between it. Learn the keystrokes to real quotes in every application you use. Learn the Mac and PC keyboard shortcuts here. Don't try curly quotes when you see inch and foot marks or prime marks. Then number 3, quotations not hung. Do you not hang your quotation marks? See in this picture. In number 2, how the quote marks are hanging off the side of the quote, compared in the other one, hang your quotation marks. Read your software manual or look up videos. Check their help files to read how to do this. You can do this manually if you need to. Just research it. Then the fourth way that you may be considered a bad designer is double returns. Did you hit double return in your paragraphs? It separates the text and leaves big gaps, as you can see. This paragraph doesn't leave a big gap in between. Can you notice the smaller gap, which makes it look a lot better and cleaner? Do you hit the return or the enter key twice between paragraphs or after headlines? Use 2 spaces. Using 2 spaces makes it possible to end up with a blank line at the top of a column. Plus, it leaves way too much space between each paragraph. It looks disconnected. And yes, white space is important in a lot of designs, but too much white space can also be distracting. Moving on. 2 spaces after a punctuation. Do you use double spaces in between your sentences? This is incorrect. It makes your sentences look incorrectly spaced. This is the correct, then this example is the correct way. Use only one space in between your sentences, and it will look more professional. Do you agree? Let me know down in the comments. Moving on. So, do you add 2 spaces after each sentence? This is a very bad practice and is very not correct. Using only one space is the correct way. Remember that. Number 6. Using boxes instead of text. Using boxes behind text. Do you use plain boxes or color behind your text? Just because you can doesn't mean you have to. Try something else. Use a dramatic headline. Use your white space, as I mentioned. Use a different font. Reverse your type. Use pull quotes, and etc. Can you see in this example how the surrounding white space makes text stand out on its own? You can use these in the correct places. However, be careful not to overuse it. Moving on to number 7. The 7th way. Oh, nope. If you're getting value from this video, be sure to smash that like and subscribe button if you have not already. And let me tell you a little bit about how I got started in design and how I started BDesign. Well, I started with graphic design and art in the hardest season of my life, when I was 9 years old. I started because I was diagnosed with AML leukemia, which, if you don't know what that is, it's a form of blood cancer. That's when my life changed, and I had to grow up at a young age. And I really understood how short life is, and that when I realized if I vanish tomorrow, what will I be remembered for? Art and design was my outlet to get away from my life in the hospital. And I started building my skills in all kinds of art, painting, drawing, and stained glass, and ceramics. You name it, I've probably done it. But little did I know that building my skills in art and design that year was gonna save my life in the following year, in 2010, when I relapsed. Which, if you don't know what that means the cancer came back. And because of complications, I had a massive stroke at age 10, where I lost all my cognitive abilities. And I forgot my whole life, all of my friends, all of my family. I forgot all of it. And I forgot how to speak and walk, everything. I forgot it all. Design was what brought me back and saved me. Doing design brought back my voice, my mobile skills, and my cognitive abilities. That's when I realized how important art was to everyday life, which led me to study graphic design. which taught me how much graphic design is everywhere. Literally. It's in billboards and signs and posters and brochures. It's in TV and commercials. It's in websites. It's everywhere. Graphic design is communication. Graphic design is what tells you where to find the best shoes. It's what tells you where to find the best shorts for basketball. It's what tells you where to find the best cleats for baseball. Graphic design communicates the brand message in businesses. Without graphic design, you wouldn't know you wouldn't know about Walmart or Target, or that Walmart has a grocery store, or that right now during this pandemic, you wouldn't know which retail chains are working with you to be safe and to keep giving you what you need to survive in everyday life. You wouldn't know that Walmart will shop for you and they will bring your groceries out to your vehicle. Without graphic design, you wouldn't know that. And with graphic design, I realized that what I'm building is what will help me keep from being forgotten if I disappeared tomorrow. What I'm building is a dream. What I'm building is what I plan on passing down to my children one day. I'm building a easier way of life for me and my family one day. And that's a little bit of how I got started. And if you've been sticking around with us this whole time, be sure to smash that like and subscribe button. And smash that notification bell so you get notified when we post new videos every Monday at 1 p.m. CDT that are here to help you build your influence and impact in the design world faster. So you can build a successful design company faster. So you can start building your dream of owning your own company to help you and your family live a better way of life, especially right now during this pandemic, where a lot of people are out of work and don't know where their next meal is coming from. Having your own dream, having your own business will help tremendously. Yeah. Now, how about I step off my soapbox, and how about we jump right back into this great lesson, shall we? Don't forget to smash that like button. And be sure and share this live stream with someone that you think it would help. It's right, that button is right beside that like button and subscribe button. So, the seventh way that you'd be considered a bad designer is centered layouts. Do you use a centered layout in your graphic design pieces? Using centered layouts is usually bad practice, as it creates a deadly, dull look. See in the example how much more effective the green verses are. They are more dynamic. One is centered and one is left aligned. Using flush left or right gives strength to your entire page and usually is a better option. Unless, of course, there are reasons to use centered text. Like creating a formal wedding invitation, for example. That is a good time to use centered text. Moving on with number 8. Borders. Do you use borders around everything? This often indicates a beginner who feels unsafe with type that is uncertain. Use your white space. You can let it be there. Seriously. Then the 9th way that you'd be considered a bad designer is indents. Do you use half-inch indents? This is a really bad practice and is the old way, back in typewriter days, let's just say. The standard is 1M space, which is a space as wide as the point size of the type. What? This is approximately 2 spaces, not 5. Then number 10, hyphens for bullets. Do you use bullets for hyphens? This is another typewriter habit and is unprofessional. Try using dots or dingbats. Then number 11, embossing and drop shadowed type, which you need to be careful with using. So this can really make you seem unprofessional. So, do you use the nitty little drop shadow or emboss tools that comes with your software? Please stop. This is the biggest dead giveaway of an amateur. This goes along with forbidding rainbow gradients, reflections, Comic Sans. Just don't use them. Plain simple. Do not use them. They do not look right in designs, and you really look amateurish if you use them. The number 12 is 12-point type. Compare a 10 and 11-point passage of text and tell me which one looks more professional. Try adding extra 1 or 1.5 line spacing, or leading or letting as well. Then compare a 10 and 11-point passage of text and tell me which one looks more professional. Try adding an extra 1 to 1.5 line spacing or letting as well. And let me know down in the comments. So, do you use the default 12-point type with auto letting? For most typefaces, 12-point is a tiny bit too large for body copy. Compare a 10, 11, and a 12-point passage of text. Tell me which one looks more professional. Try adding a extra 1 or 1.5 line spacing or letting as well. Notice the difference in the 2 examples above, or right there. The red is the default 12 auto letting, And the green is size 11 with 2 points of leading. And just a little extra tip, the smallest your font size should ever be is a 7. Should never go below that, because then it's really hard to read. Then number 13, underline. Do you underline to get your point across? Never use the underline feature. It is a law. Only for hyperlinks on the web is this allowed. Underlining was a way for typewriters back in the day to italicize text because they couldn't set italics. Understanding the italicizing text at the same time is the most redundant thing you can do in life, but rules can be broken if needed. Then number 14, all caps. Let me know down in the comments. Do you use all caps? All caps is more difficult to read. And this is because we recognize a word not by its letters, but by the shape of the whole word. When text is in all caps, every word has the same shape. So we have to read every letter by itself. All caps is fine sometimes, but when you are conscious of using it and why, try using bold instead, using a different typeface, or using reverse text. And then the final way that you can be considered a bad designer is bad grammar and spelling. Always reread the paragraph before sending it to a client. I have done this once, and it was really embarrassing when they email me back and point out my spelling and grammar errors. So, not spell checking your work and not using the right grammar, one of the hardest aspects designers seem to face. If you creating professional level type in design is mainly a matter of becoming more aware of details and practice. You need to always read over your work before sending it to a client, or have someone in your office, like a partner or something, reread your work to make sure everything is spelt right and the grammar is correct. And that was the lesson for today. If you got value, be sure to smash that like and subscribe button. And today's question, the question of the day, is what do you believe are some other signs you are a bad graphic designer? Let me know down in the comments what you think. And we will see you next week. We post new videos every Monday at 1 p.m. CDT, and we go live every Wednesday, just like this one, at 1 p.m. CDT. So be sure to tune in and smash that notification bell so you get notified for when we go live and when we post videos. And don't forget, if you can dream it, we here at BDesign is here to help you design it. So keep on dreaming, and we will see you in the next video. Bye!